Adam is not a single man. He is the collective pulse of 8 billion souls, a vast ocean of consciousness drifting through the material world. Every individual carries within them the dual weight of masculine and feminine polarities, a constant friction that defines our existence. But this is not the final state. A grand, cosmic sorting is underway. Across the expanse of time, masculine energy begins to pull away, converging to form the archetypal Adam, while feminine energy coalesces into the singular form of Eve. Imagine the atmosphere itself thinning as these polarities drift toward their respective poles. Negativity is cast aside, shedding away like the discarded skin of a serpent, leaving only the pure, positive resonance behind. In this final alignment, the material form begins to dissolve. The wolf and the lamb stand together in the silence of a new order. Everything we recognize as solid, as heavy, as permanent, starts to vibrate at a higher frequency. It is a return to the source, a homecoming where the fractured pieces of humanity finally merge into the endless light. The separation is complete. When the physical frame finally stops, the story of the individual does not end. It merely changes its state. The energy intelligence, the core of the soul, remains tethered to the earth, which functions as a vast, silent antechamber. This is the moment of departure. The soul hovers, still feeling the pull of the world it once inhabited. Memory's anchor, wisdom's key. Without that knowledge, the soul drifts, caught in the currents of its own unresolved attachments. But for the prepared, the release is deliberate. Like a flame catching a sudden updraft, the soul begins its ascent. It rises, shedding the weight of the material world, seeking the singular brilliance of the endless light. Yet, this path is not a simple straight line. A soul of 90% purity finds it cannot merge. It encounters a spark of rejection, a barrier that forces it to circle its own level of awareness. It must navigate the ether, searching for a new vessel. Rebirth, a precise tuning. The moment of procreation is the critical frequency where the soul finds its new vessel. When a man and a woman unite, their thoughts, their intentions, and their spiritual state act as the broadcast signal that draws a specific soul into the embryo. This is the architecture of life. In the ancient tongue, the words for man and wife, Ish and Isha, are bound by the letters of the divine name. If these letters are absent during the act, the harmony collapses, the connection fails to hold the light. Only ESH remains, fire, a consuming, hollow heat that burns through the essence of love instead of nurturing the spark of life. This is the danger of the unaligned moment. When the parents are not in resonance with the higher purpose, the energy that forms the embryo is perturbed. It is a dissonance that echoes through the development of the child. Soul plunged, clock spun, unbound from divine. When the biological clock spins out of control, the course of events is not immutable. The error is written in the subconscious, and it can be rewritten. Through the focused application of hypnosis, the mind reaches back, traversing the timeline to the very moment of conception. It is a surgical strike against the dissonance of growth. The patient enters a state of deep, singular focus, projecting a vivid mental image of the affliction directly into the consciousness. Imagine the site of a tumor, a dense cluster of chaotic cells, or the rapid, unchecked proliferation of bacteria. The mind confronts these shadows. It visualizes the destruction of the invader, commanding the body to recognize the threat and dismantle it. This is not mere suggestion. It is a profound dialogue. Across 12 sessions, the patient engages in this intense, internal battle. They fast, stripping away the distractions of the material world to sharpen the intent. With every breath, the subconscious instructions are recalibrated. The body responds to the new command, shifting its energy intelligence away from decay. The physical form, once spiraling toward chaos, begins to stabilize. It is a reclamation of function. The body listens, and for the first time, it begins to obey. The struggle fades. The internal war against the shadow of decay reaches its natural conclusion. As the mind releases its grip on the fight, the body settles into a profound, rhythmic stillness. The noise of the disease, the chaotic signals of the failing cells, all dissolve into a singular, clear frequency. This is the dialogue between the observer and the biological vessel, now spoken in the language of pure intent. The energy intelligence, once tethered to the friction of the material world, begins to lift. It drifts upward, unburdened by the weight of past dissonance. There is no more resistance. The vessel is no longer a cage, but a bridge. As the final session closes, the soul finds its alignment, seeking the source of all things. It is a return to the endless light, where the wolf and the lamb feed together in the silence of the Creator. The form is reclaimed, the purpose is restored. All that remains is the quiet, expansive peace of a soul finally at home.